Good morning, folks. I just wanted to share something with you this morning that I found in my Bible reading. Actually, this one, it kind of comes from two different Bible readings. One of these is a reading through the Bible we're doing with our men's ministry at church, and it is comes out of Numbers 14. There's also another plan I'm doing with some friends from Kayak Fishing with Christ, and we're doing a YouVersion study. And one of the scriptures in there stood out to me this morning, and it kind of made me think that there was somebody else out there that might need to hear this. So I really wanted to share this with you. I'm going to start out in here, and might walk around a little bit, but I'm going to read first out of Numbers chapter 14, starting in verse 5. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the people of Israel, and Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes and said to all the congregation of the people of Israel, "The land which we have passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land." This is the part I want you to hear. "If the Lord delights in us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land that flows with milk and honey." Now look at Philippians 4 and verse 8. "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things, that what you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." I was thinking about Israel. I'm going to walk around a little bit while I'm talking to you, but we were thinking about Israel and how they seemed to focus on what was negative, and instead of what was positive, and they always were complaining when they were in the wilderness, and instead of focusing on the good things that God had done for them, and instead of remembering all of the times that they had been blessed and that God had brought them out of Egypt with a strong hand, and he had brought them out of through the Red Sea, and he parted the Red Sea. He had provided for them. You think about Israel when they were in the wilderness. This was 12 tribes plus Levi, so that really made 13 with Joseph's two tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. So each of these were 40, 50,000 more people in that. So that's the size of one city. So you've got like 13 cities wandering around in the wilderness, and God provided for them. That's phenomenal that he was able to provide, and we know he can do whatever he wants, but God provided for them. He brought them out of Egypt, and he sustained them, and now he's getting ready to take them into the promised land. But they said, you know, God's not big enough to take us in there, and they focused on the negative. And so Joshua and Caleb were the only two who knew that they could go into the promised land. But it made me think about how if we are pleasing to God, and if we keep our mind on him, he can bless us, and he will. And I wanted to share a story with you about my wife and I. I was thinking this morning, and it dawned on me when I was thinking about this. My wife got saved when she was 6. I got saved when I was 5. Now, I'm not going to tell you how old we are, but I'll just say this. Between the two of us, we have been saved a combined total of over 100 years. That blew me away when I thought about that. I told my wife, and she laughed. She said, "That's a lot of years." And, you know, when she was little, she always she always prayed. She was always talking to God. She still does. If you see her and she's not talking to somebody, there's a pretty good chance she's praying or talking to God. And I wanted to show you, I just feel like she's all her life has been dedicated to having a relationship with God. And I've done my best to serve God. I haven't walked away from Him. Granted, I've failed. Goodness knows, I still fail all the time. But I feel like we try to please God, and we try to do what is right in His eyes, and we try to think on the good things and the positive things. And I just want to show, when we came to Goose Creek, this is the story that we talked about yesterday, and I wanted to share this with you. And I came outside for a reason. I wanted to show you, this is our house. This is the back of our house, and this is our yard. We have a pretty good sized yard here, very blessed. And I might walk around front while I'm talking, but God has just blessed us so much. And when we came here, we came looking for a house to live in before we moved here in the Navy. And that's a whole series of miracles there, that we actually got to come here because of some medical issues that came up, and I thought I was going to be out of the Navy. Well, it turns out that God put us here, and then He brought us to this house by mistake. I literally made a wrong turn and ended up in the house across the street, which was the office. And we looked at that house and we said, this is literally the house that we described at home, laid out the same way, the same number of rooms. Everything about this house is everything that we feel like we want. Here's the front of it. And so, we just felt like God had put this house here for us. We felt like it was something we could afford if we were able to sell our house at home in North Carolina, where we were moving from. So we, for some reason, Darlene had to call the bank, completely unrelated to buying a house. But she, in the process of talking to them, she made the comment that she says, well, I might be calling you back in a few months if we can sell our house, because we have a house here we want to buy. The woman from our bank said, you don't need to sell your house. In fact, don't even fill out an application. You sign on that house, and we know you're good for the money. We didn't even fill out an application for the mortgage. And she said, buy the house, buy it. And it was kind of tough for about 9 months because, I'm sorry, I'm shaking a little bit, but we had about 9 months when we were paying, if you can believe this, $2,700 a month in mortgage payments. And somehow God blessed us, and we continued to do that. We sold our house, we put the equity into it, refinanced, and that was we originally bought it in 07 in the summer, and it's been paid off now for 2 or 3 years, I guess. And God is He blessed us with all of this. Our mortgage is paid for, and I can't even tell you how blessed we are. So, if God puts something before you, just know that He's able to sustain you. He's able to take care of it, and He's able to take you into the promised land. So if God opens a door to you, don't look at the negative. Don't look at all of the things that, for the reasons why you shouldn't. If God tells you to go forward, go forward, and claim the land. And God bless you. I hope this encourages some of you, and it just blessed me this morning when I thought about all that God has done. I could, I think between Darlene and I, we could tell you story after story about God has opened doors and blessed us. And so God bless you. Go and possess the land. Go and be a light in somebody's world today and bless them. and have a great day.